Hi everyone, and welcome to CSX in the Kitchen. Man, we have some great things we're going to make tonight, and we want to thank our sponsors, the Michigan Apple Committee. So we're cooking with apples in this month of October, apple season, and today we're going to make a butternut squash apple with onion soup. It's creamy, it's velvety, it's delicious, and those apples just give it a perfect little tartness. I'm using Honeycrisp apples, and also those are right here, and then also the butternut squash. So you want to cube those up, and this is just an example. These are the raw, but in here I have Michigan apples and also the butternut squash and the onions that I've chopped up, and you'll get those in this pot and get them softened. But what I did with the butternut squash was I roasted them at 425 degrees in the oven, and just until they're soft. So it gives them additional flavor. Anytime you got a little char on anything, it adds to the flavor, and you know, they say the flavor is in the brown. So we're gonna take this mixture and put it into this Vitamix. And if you don't have a Vitamix, you can use an immersion blender or just a blender. Just something that can really get it all mixed up. But if you're really serious about cooking, the Vitamix is the way to go. I mean, this is a miracle, a kitchen miracle. So we're gonna get this all blended up, and then we'll put that mixture back into this pot and let it simmer. And we'll add, you know, the salt and pepper, all of the seasonings to that. I did salt and pepper a little bit on the butternut squash. I like to season every step of the way, because nothing is more boring than unseasoned food. Okay, so we're gonna get it here on the Vitamix. And you stick this in here, and this little stick thing helps it to mix it around. You'll see, we're gonna do it right now. There we go. Okay, so I think we have it mixed up well enough. We're gonna put this back into the stock pot, and we're gonna add some liquid to the mixture. It depends on what kind of consistency you like with your soup. If you want it thin, if you want it a little thicker. I kind of like a little happy medium with that. So we'll get that in there. See how nice that is? It's beautiful. What beautiful color. I love fall for the root veggies and the apples, Michigan apples. And like I said, I used Honeycrisp for this one. So we'll get that all in there. And then we're going to add some chicken stock. If you want to make this a vegetarian soup, you can just use water, but really get your seasoning on. Or you can use vegetable stock. That will work as well. So we have the chicken stock, because we're a bunch of meat eaters around here. And we're gonna pour that in there to your desired consistency. The recipe that I've created calls for about 3 or 4 cups of liquid. So we'll get the chicken stock in there. And then for that nice apple accent, we'll add some Michigan apple cider. It's wonderful to cook with. And it's so delicious. I know, like on social media, I see everyone posting in August. They're like, I can't wait for hoodies and cider mills and apples. Okay, so we've got the chicken stock in there. And now we'll add the apple cider, Michigan apple cider. I put a little, about a cup, less than the chicken stock, because it's really more of an accent to your soup. So I'm going to turn that up just a little, and we're going to let that simmer. And it's going to be good. So while that simmers, I'm going to make a bruschetta, which is basically bread. Grilled bread with toppings. So I have the French bread, the baguette, and I have Michigan apples, Granny Smith for this, a little more firm and a little bit of tartness, and Gruyere cheese, which is a great melting cheese. So what we're going to do is get the bread on the grill. And whatever size bread you want, you know, there's no rules. But this is a real nice baguette by Avalon Bakery in downtown Detroit. They make just the most incredible bread down there. Been going there for years. And they sell it, oh, we're going to douse a little olive oil on there. They sell the Avalon bread at a lot of your local markets, so look for that. We have so many great local producers of food and bread and pastry. We're pretty lucky in this town. And man, has the scene exploded. It's crazy. Every day, it seems like a new restaurant pops up. And here at CSX in the Kitchen, we're going to have a lot of those chefs from those restaurants on. Tonight, it's just me. But coming up soon, we'll have more chefs doing that. So we'll get this. This is a really great grill pan. And we're going to get those nice grill marks on there. We're going to put oil on both sides. And then we'll transfer this to a sheet tray. I have the oven on broil. And we're going to put the apples on and then the cheese. And we're going to broil it. And the cheese is going to melt. And then I even have a little bacon that we might put on top of that, because bacon is beautiful. Okay, so both sides with the olive oil. And if you can use whatever kind of oil you want, really. Like I say, no rules. And whatever these recipes are that I present to you, you can make them your own with ingredients, and you can add, you can subtract, whatever you feel like doing. It's all up to you, because everyone has their own palate. Some people don't like certain things. Some people might not like cheese, which I just can't go there. I just can't go there. Cheese is so good. Explore it. And I have a nice green salad that I did in the last video, if you saw that. I go to the salad bar and I get all of the little accoutrements. And so I'm not sitting around chopping and dicing and julienning all night long. Okay, so we've got these on this beautiful grill pan. If you don't have a grill pan, I highly suggest you get one, because they are a cook's best friend. You can kind of see it smoking, and it's looking good. Yeah, see? Grill marks, grill marks, woo! And it's real easy to burn the bread, so stay on top of it. I've been guilty of doing that a time or 50. But I'm not doing it tonight. I'm going to make it perfect. So you just get a nice little grill on there. And this right here, my friends, is liquid gold. Liquid gold. This is Michigan pure raw organic honey. Thank you to my friend Dietrich Bonowitz, who is a great bass player here in the Detroit scene. He's also a beekeeper, and he makes guitars. He's kind of all over the place. So he gave me this beautiful jar of honey, and we're going to drizzle some of that on at the end, because why not? And it's good for you. It's super healthy. But then we'll counteract that with the bacon. So these are looking nice and toasty. We're going to just get them on this pan, and we'll add the Gruyere cheese, which, like I said, is a wonderful melting cheese. Some cheeses melt better than others. Of course, Velveeta, that melts like crazy. But I'm not using that. I'm going a little more high end here. I mean, Velveeta has its place. Much apologies to professional chefs who think I'm crazy for saying that, but that's all right. Okay, So we have all of our little bruschetta baguettes right here. And we'll add the apple, and then we'll add the cheese. Granny Smith slices. Get those on there. And the combination of apples and cheese it's a perfect marriage. I remember back when I was a kid, it was like, cheese on apple pie? I thought it was so strange, but man, when I tried it, it was delicious. Oh good, I got just enough. Perfect. Then we're gonna put our Gruyere cheese on top of that and get them under the broiler. We've got to be very careful to watch that because it's a hot broiler and it goes very fast. But it's a nice little appetizer. And if you don't want to go to these lengths, you can also just do some nice crusty bread, stick it in the oven, stick the baguette in the oven, and heat it up a little bit, and tear a hunk off and go to town. And we'll add some bacon to some of them too, because I know we have some bacon lovers in this house. So we'll get those in to the broiler and keep a very quick eye on those. Let's see how the soup is doing. Oh yes, melding together very nicely. Should I show it to you? Can you see it? I don't want to spill it. It's beautiful. It's, like I said, it's velvety and warm and comforting for the soul. Once again, butternut squash, apples, onions, apple cider, and chicken broth. And I think we'll do a little seasoning right now. Of course, you got to do the salt and pepper. And I try not to over season because it can totally take over the entire dish, no matter what it is you're making. And so you can always have the salt and pepper shaker there if they feel that they want a little more. Everyone's different. Ginger, very finely minced ginger. That is going to add a brightness that's going to blow your mind, rockers. Okay, ginger, and how about a little kick, a little cayenne pepper. I don't want to hurt anyone. We'll put a little bit in there. Stir it around. And I have garnishes for this soup as well. The garnish, I have pepitas, which are pumpkin seeds, and these are the natural ones. You see the white ones that are super salty, which I dig them, but these are real delicious. So I have the pumpkin seeds. More bacon! Bacon rocks. Chopped chives. I grew these in my backyard. Yes, I did. And creme fraiche, which is like a French sour cream. And it's a little more mild and it's delicious, so we'll dollop some of that on there as well. So we've got our garnish ready. Let's check. Don't burn the bruschetta. Okay, it's getting there. We're just gonna give it a couple, maybe one more minute. It's starting to melt and it looks beautiful. You can see my cocktail right here. I better have a sip while we're waiting. This is apple cider. This is whiskey. Here, let me get it. Serpent's Bite, apple cider whiskey. And Captain Morgan's Spice rum. A little ice and a little nutmeg. Here we go. Oh, that's so good. Oh, nutmeg, you can buy it, in one of these, but you're not going to use the whole thing. And spices don't last as long as you think you can. I know a friend of mine, I went over, she wanted me to do kind of an analysis of her pantry, and she had spices and herbs from 5-10 years ago. I said, it's all got to go. So you buy the whole nutmeg, and that will last you, and it will keep for a while. And there's nothing like fresh nutmeg, so I think we'll put some right in this soup. Not too much, because it's pretty strong, especially when it's in this form. Just a little nutmeg, that's perfect. And this right here, my friends, the hand grater, is so valuable in the kitchen. Okay, we're looking good. Okay, look at that. Nice and caramelized, the cheese. It's nice and melty. So we have that. We'll put that right there. And I think it's time to plate. Okay, turn the oven off. It's a little hot in here. Okay, soup first. Got our ladle. And if you're making it at home, you might want to let it go a little bit longer, but this is ready to go. Pour that beautiful velvety liquid, the butternut squash, Michigan apple with onions soup. And I'm going to garnish at will. Okay, just a dollop of creme fraiche. Some pepitas. I'm really into texture for the crunchy with the soft sensual. And some chives. And yes, make it rain, bacon, make it rain. There's that. And I'll just take one of these over here. We'll see how it all is. Time to taste. Okay, I'll get some of all of that garnish in there. That is incredible. How about a little bite? Gruyere, apple, baguette. This is a mind blower. My little cocktail here. We're gonna wash it down with that. This is a great meal, great for a fall night. Thank you for being here in the CSX kitchen. Thank you to the Michigan Apple Committee. Go to michiganapples.com and we'll see you next time.